static keyword in Java. So what is static keyword? It is used for memory management. Memory management. And object we people are creating also for the memory management. Okay. So it means it belongs to class rather than the instance of a class. It can now static variable can apply to whom? That can apply to methods. Okay. Methods, blocks, right? Or nested classes. Not class, we can apply to the nested classes. Okay. Now, what is the benefit of a static keyword? A static keyword can be created just below the class. Just below the class. But first of all, let us understand the example of this. What is the use of a static keyword? I'm just going to create a new class, right? Click new class. The package will be com.java.core core concepts. And in this static keyword. Finish. There, let me go with the main controller space. And let me create another class. Class test. Okay. In this class, I'll have first a method public method with call sysout called. So when we call this method, we get this as an output. Next, I'll have public integer add sysout add call, and let me return any number like 9 semicolon. Okay. Now, if I want to call this method, so what we need to do? We need to create object of this test. So how we'll create object? Object is class name, controller space, class object equals to new, and then constructor. Now let me call both method once by just typing object dot add semicolon object dot call semicolon. Now let me print this. Oh, sorry, nothing to print. Let me run this. Okay, now we got both as an output, but there we need to create object. Now what, see, if I want to call these method without creating object, so we are going to use a keyword which is static, like main. So what I do, I just put static after the public, private, or any access modifier which you want to use. Now I'll have static keyword. It means, see, when I'll type Control Z, this is like, just see line number 20. When I put static, then what should be changed? What is the change? Now, just see line number change to italic. Remove, and then Control Y. Any change? Control S. Okay. Now, when I type static, that is changed. See, that is changed to italic, and now we'll get a yellow symbol. Why? Because now it is not necessary to call this with object. Why? Because now static, it means static methods can be called with class name directly instead of object. So we don't require an object. Okay. So now we are not going to create object. So what I'll do, I'll just go to this and let me remove. So for example, this is my object. Control Z. This is my object, obj. And let me type obj, and there as well, obj. Now, what I do, see, right now we are not getting any error. I'll just change this obj with test. Now, this is the use of static. And if I change this as static void call, so this can also be called with a class name. It means we don't require object creation. Now, When we are going to use a static keyword, it means the method is static, so we are not supposed to create the object. Looks good. Now, in the same way, we'll have a static variable. So what is the benefit of a static variable? That can be declared after the class. For example, I'll have this variable, integer a equals to 10. Now this is a method variable. That variable is inside the method. Let me just print plus a. And now if I'll declare any variable, integer b equals to 20. So first of all, that variable is created outside the class. Okay, so I had declared this as 20. Now let me print plus b control s. Okay, now we are getting an error. Why? The static context can, or the non-static variable cannot be called in a static context. It means my this call method is static. And what I want to do, I just want to call this b inside this static block. Now what error actually we are getting? See, cannot make a static reference in a non-static field. So what I'll do, I'll just change this to static controllers. Now no error. Now a plus b can be called, and what I can do, I can simply return plus b. Now what is my output? What is the previous output? Previous output is this, add called. Now we got output as called 1020. Okay, what is this one? Okay, because we are adding them once. Let me put plus bracket control as, provide some space called. Now this is called 30 and add call. Why this is not printed? Because we are calling method, not printing anything. So this bracket control s, right click run as Java application. Now we got add call 29, which is a turn value, and after that we got this call 30. So it means now 30 is called. So this is about the